Hey there, it's Roland Peltier here with Vortex Aquaponics, and I just wanted to show you a really beautiful addition to the Cadence model aquaponics system, which I offer and set up in schools and set up in residences all over the beautiful Okanagan. And so here's the Cadence model. It's just got a light stand on the top, grow bed with expanded clay pellets, and then I've got the tank underneath. And the tank is based on basically a 29-gallon tank. I've got it subdivided with plexiglass with holes drilled in at the top and a couple of supports at the back. That keeps the plexiglass from bowing with the pressure differential. Basically, this lets me keep my front tank always full, and my sump tank is now created in the back. That's where my pump is. I have a 160-gallon-per-hour pump and some goldfish and a fairly large algae eater, as you can see. And basically, yeah, it's pumping into the grow bed via that clear plastic tube that's coming up there. Constantly pumping. The water is not on a timer and is constantly pumping in, as you can see coming out of that hose. There's a little flow valve there, simply just always pouring. Now we have the Bell Siphon 2.0, thanks to open source knowledge and our friend Shannon Cobb on YouTube. Now, as that siphon is full, you will see our system will start to drain. So it's starting to drain. It's not a full-on siphon yet, but here it goes. And there it goes. And as it's draining back into the fish tank, of course, it's overflowing. And it's going through those holes and filling up the sump tank. If you watch, the level in the back tank is actually going up as this is filling up. And of course, this is introducing air, oxygen to the fish, which they just love. And because of the siphon effect, it's actually pulling oxygen through the roots of the plants in the grow bed. There are no plants in the grow bed yet, but you can see there's some seeds that have been planted in peat pucks. And we have just a little kit that you can get here, 72 peat pucks. Planted them with the kids yesterday, made it a little project. We've got Swiss chard, hard for you to read this, but I'll read it out loud anyway. Swiss chard, spinach, tomatoes, sweet peppers, a lettuce mix, and ruby red Swiss chard. So that's still draining, full on siphoning into there, and as you can see here, I'll show you the drain system. It's really cool. That will drain it right down so that it's about a half an inch or less of water in the bottom of my grow bed. This works way better than a bell siphon, you guys. Anyone out there who's got bell siphons, who's been having problems, pay attention. This is your solution, okay? Half inch, teeing up to a 90 slip by slip, another 90, then that goes into a piece here which is half to 1 inch. Then this is a 1 inch street elbow, street 90 here, that goes down to a piece of 1 inch pipe which sits slightly off the bottom, like I said, of my tank. Once this drains, I'll actually lift that out and show you so that the plumbing makes sense. And you see on this side here, this piece sticking out here, this is what we like to call the emergency overflow, coming up to the top of the grow bed. Yeah, here's that sound. It's going to lose its siphon. Okay, beautiful. And what that means is that my grow bed is completely empty of water, always filling up now. Now I'll show you what this looks like so you can get a feel for it, because I'm telling you, this is so much superior to a bell siphon. Okay, so I have my standpipe, which comes up from the other side of my bulkhead fitting. It's cut around 6 inches for me in this grow bed. And then that 90 here, where I'm touching, that sits on top of that standpipe. As you can see, there's quite an angle, almost a 45-degree angle this way here. okay, where it goes in from the half, goes into 1 inch, and then that 1 inch sits just off the bottom. Okay, so this works so good. Put it on there. See, belt siphons, I could get them working perfectly, but then I don't know why they would just stop, or they would go through a cycle where they need to be adjusted, and this just works like clockwork. On this grow bed here, I have some simple T5 fluorescents. I actually don't use these. These are recycled lights that I'm using. They're actually past their date, as far as they recommend replacing these T5s every 6 to 9 months. These are the Grow Spectrum T5s. But what I've gone with, and what you'll see on my website, is I'm using full spectrum LED lights from Initial LED out of Quebec, Canada. And I have 7, 8, 9, 10 of those systems set up in 7 schools over 4 school districts. I want to get to this, and it's by no means the least important here, maybe the most important. This here is the new artwork that has been put on by a friend of mine who is a local artist. He's of Aboriginal descent. His name is David Wilson, and he is a fantastic artist. Here's his name here. You can check him out on Facebook. He's quite well known in our town, and he's getting quite a name for himself across the international community. I'm very privileged to have this artwork on here by David, and this increases the value of this particular unit. There you go. I hope this ends up in an Aboriginal education classroom somewhere, where the kids can really appreciate how this is really a shining example of Aboriginal wisdom coming to the classroom for today. The Aztecs were using a form of aquaponics with their chinampas about 700 years ago. And so what I'm trying to connect here is that the Aboriginal people lived within the systems of nature, and they thrived. And what we have here is perfect symbiosis. The fish muck up the water with their ammonia, which gets pumped into the grow bed where the expanded clay pellets are. And the pellets provide a lot of surface area for bacteria. Well, there's naturally occurring bacteria that eats that ammonia and turns it into nitrite. And another naturally occurring bacteria that eats that and turns it into nitrate. And so what happens is nitrates are really good for plants. And what we're going to find is that our plants can grow up to twice as fast as soil gardening, while using up to 85% less water. That's a really big deal, especially when you're talking about feeding people on a worldwide scale. We're talking passive solar greenhouses, which are dug down into the ground and take advantage of the geothermal effect, and they keep it cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. And you know, the native Aboriginals here, they used pit houses, which were exactly the same thing. They dug down into the earth, they took advantage of that geothermal effect, and they thrived within nature. They thought about how everything they did would affect 7 generations down the road. Well, right now we're not really thinking that far ahead, you know? And so here I am going into the schools, and this is what I'm bringing to the children. This is what I'm telling them, is that there is a new economy out there, and it's based on cooperation, and it's based on regenerative acts for the earth. We don't have to look at the earth as broken. She will heal herself. It's just that we have to change our habits. We have to change how we are living within nature and start growing all of our own food in passive solar greenhouses. We can have all the fish, all the organic vegetables with food forests outside. We incorporate all the permaculture principles. We harvest our own water. And we always think about the earth first. This is the important part. Everything we do, we think about, how is this going to affect 7 generations from now? So we start capturing our own energy and doing it in responsible ways. And, you know, I'm not saying stop driving your car, just drive it less. Do as much as you can, And eventually we won't be driving these gas burning vehicles. We'll be driving a lot better things, and we'll be getting around in ways that are thoughtful and responsible. So anyway, guys, there's my rant, but I hope you find it a positive slant on what's going on. What I've learned more than anything is that it's all about what we believe, it's about what we think, how we're vibing. So come from gratitude. There it goes. Here comes my drain again. I don't know if you aquapons find this as exciting as I do, but I'm telling you, when you have a drain that works perfectly every single time, it is a beautiful thing. Okay guys, here we go. Take care. Take care of yourselves. Take care of the earth. Lots of love.